Trump Live updates. U.S.-China trade war intensifies as Beijing retaliates with fresh tariff hike. China has increased its tariffs on American imports to 125% in retaliation for Donald Trump's 145% levy on its exports, raising the stakes in a trade war that threatens to upend global supply chains. There are no winners in a trade war, and going against the world will only lead to self-isolation, Chinese Premier Xi Jinping told state broadcaster CCTV. For over 70 years, China's development has relied on self-reliance and hard work, never on handouts from others, and it is not afraid of any unjust suppression. The development promises further market turmoil after U.S. stocks plunged on Thursday, giving up more than half of their historic gains from the previous day. Meanwhilem, the U.S. Supreme Court has ruled that the Trump administration must facilitate the return of a wrongfully deported Maryland father sent to a brutal El Salvador jail. ICE agents deported Kilmar Abrego Garcia last month, despite a court order blocking his removal from the country. Officials conceded this occurred due to an administrative error, insisting it was impossible to bring him back. With the president facing accusations from Democrats of enabling insider trading with this week's tariff shenanigans, attention is being drawn to this exchange between Trump, financial investor Charles Schwab, and NASCAR team owner Roger Penske at the White House on Wednesday, in which the former jokes about the two men making hundreds of millions of dollars from the chaos. The administration is reportedly canceling the Social Security numbers of immigrants who came to the U.S. legally and adding their identities to a closely guarded database tracking deaths. The move, treating the individuals as if they had literally died in the eyes of the government, is the latest in the administration's larger campaign to revoke the status of hundreds of thousands of immigrants who got temporary authorization to remain in the U.S. under the Biden administration. In recent weeks, the administration has pulled the status of hundreds of thousands of migrants from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela who were granted temporary legal status, while stripping protections from potentially around 1 million people who entered the U.S. legally using a Border Patrol app while they awaited asylum claims. The Social Security effort, reportedly initiated at the request of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, has a goal of making sure the financial lives of the targeted immigrants are terminated. Social Security Administration Acting Commission Leland Dudek said in an email, Beijing has increased its tariffs on American imports to 125%, raising the stakes in a trade war that threatens to upend global supply chains. The hike, hitting back against Donald Trump's decision to hike duties on Chinese goods to a whopping 145%, will come into effect on Saturday. Reacting to the news, the U.S. dollar index fell 1.2% to 99.50, marking its lowest level since April 2022. As quoted by state broadcaster CCTV, Chinese President Xi Jinping said, "There are no winners in a trade war, and going against the world will only lead to self-isolation." He added, "For over 70 years, China's development has relied on self-reliance and hard work, never on handout from others, and it is not afraid of any unjust suppression." China's mission to the World Trade Organization said it filed an additional complaint to the trade body over U.S. tariffs.